I've never... The best way to explain it is it was diabolical. I did see someone's phone get stolen in Genoa, a stick to another cruise line. At the end of the day, I believe there's a cruise line out there for everyone, and different cruise lines may fit other people's needs, and other cruise lines may not fit people's needs. What I will say though is we paid less for this 7-day cruise than what I did for the cruise that I did with Pino earlier in the year. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening guys. Welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to my MSC World Europa cruise vlog series review. We recently spent 7 nights on board MSC World Europa. It was one of my first times ever sailing on an MSC cruise. We're back in the UK now. We've had a couple of weeks to really digress information, and now I'm ready to give you my review about MSC and to let you know if MSC is for us or if it's not for us. So grab yourselves a drink. I'm actually drinking Shaken Udder today. It's not sponsored, but if you ever want to sponsor me, please get in touch. Shaken Udder, it's my favourite milkshake. And let's get into the review. Again, this isn't sponsored, but if you're looking for... This really does sound like a sponsor. But if you're looking for like a McDonald's milkshake and you want to have it at home, this stuff is literally McDonald's, but you can buy it in Tesco, you can buy it in Asda. It's really looking like a sponsorship. Hang on, let's have a quick sip. Espresso macchiato. Sorry, the Eurovision was on last week. It's so good. Okay, let's rewind back to April 2025. Now, for anyone that's not seen my videos before, hi, my name's Dalimore. I do cruise vlogs, I do Disney vlogs, and I do lifestyle vlogs. Now, in 2019, I caught the cruise bug. I sailed with one of my favourite cruise lines at that time, which were called P&O Cruises. We sailed on a 14-day cruise around the Mediterranean, and we had the best time. And since then, when time has permitted us, we have been cruising with P&O Cruises, with cruise lines like Disney and cruise lines like Royal Caribbean. However, I have kind of been a bit of a fanboy towards P&O Cruises. I have done so many P&O Cruises in the past. However, P&O Cruises has changed a lot since my first ever sailing. A lot of cutbacks, a lot of things that I just wasn't keen on anymore. Now, listen, this isn't a kick towards P&O Cruises again. I've already done plenty of that on this channel. But I just wanted to try something different. And I asked a lot of you guys, what would you recommend? And a lot of you recommended Disney, you recommended Royal Caribbean, Celebrity. We had a lot of recommendations. But the one that kept sticking out to me the most was MSC. And I'd already obviously sailed with MSC for a very short sailing during the pandemic on Virtuosa that sailed from Southampton. So I kind of was familiar with the brand, but I hadn't done a proper cruise with MSC. I hadn't sailed anywhere tropical or used the slides or anything. And life is very different for me now in 2023. Oh my God, get my ears right down. In 2023, we adopted a little boy. We love him. He's in our life now. So holidays are very different because back in the old days, I'd be quite happy just to sit in my room on my balcony and do bits of emails and do bits of work and editing. But now my day is taken up by watching my little boy have fun and me sitting there still doing bits of work. But my day is centered around my little boy. And the cruise line that kept sticking out for me was MSC. Because they've got bumper cars, because they've got slides, because they've got this whole range of activities. I showed him a couple of pictures of MSC World Europa, and let me just tell you, he screamed when he first found out that I was even thinking about booking. So, earlier this year, we booked and we flew out to, we flew out to Southampton. We flew out to Barcelona to board MSC World Europa. I am going to apologise when I'm drinking this because I might get a milk tash, so I do apologise. But honestly, I'm not that this is a promo, but this is so good. I need to really stop drinking this milk. Let's start at the beginning. We did a fly cruise with MSC. We flew from Manchester. At the time, Jet2 were working with MSC. I think they still are, so this isn't to say they're not working with them anymore. But we did a fly cruise. From the moment we got to the airport to the moment we embarked on MSC World Europa, I was just blown away. I had read so many bad reviews, and let me tell you, I'm never going to go, as a cruise critic, I am never going to go on their websites again because there wasn't one positive review, I don't think, about MSC in regards to fly cruises. People's luggage go missing, God knows what. We honestly had the best experience. We checked in with Jet2, luggage went on the plane, we got on the plane, we landed in Barcelona, our luggage was there, and then we went to the brand new cruise terminal, which is in MSC. Well, it's not in MSC, it's in Barcelona, and it's the MSC's new terminal. It's only just being built, and it was stunning. Check-in was a breeze. I've always said this, I wished check-ins on cruises was the same as check-ins on flights, because I always just feel relaxed when I'm embarking on a cruise ship. When I'm at the airport, I'm not so relaxed. Who is ever relaxed at the airport? But when I'm going on a cruise ship, it's just so relaxing, so relaxing. They offered free drinks, they offered free snacks. Like, how can anyone say that the MSC boarding process is bad when you're getting offered free drinks in embarkation? I just thought that was fantastic. In this video, which is live on my channel right now, I did mention that I think it took about 20 minutes from the moment we arrived at the cruise terminal to the moment we got on the ship. And 20 minutes to get on a ship of this size and the amount of people, we're talking about 7,200 people are getting on this ship every single day and getting off. I think 20 minutes is... You know, I've waited an hour to get on a plane that holds 300 people. So, listen, I thought the MSC embarkation process was a good, solid 10 out of 10. After waiting 20 minutes to get onto the ship, we were straight on. The first thing we did is go straight to our cruise cabin. Now, this was the first mistake for me for this cruise because I did book an inside cabin. Now, I do regret this massively, even still to this day. It was the only thing that was available apart from promenade cabins, and they were like an extra £1,000 more. So I decided to go for the cheapest option, which was an inside cabin at that time. And I can't begin to tell you, we were probably in the worst location, at the worst part of the cruise. Like, everything just wasn't great. We were in a terrible location on the ship. We were right next to the galleys, so every night, all we heard was bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it was very loud where we were. And I think the thing that I struggled with the most was where our cabin was actually located was nowhere near sunlight. For us to get to the nearest sunlight, we had to get in a lift and go down 3 floors because there was just no natural light on our floor. But do you know what? Overall, the cabin was absolutely stunning. It had honestly, MSC beds. Yeah, we slept so well. In fact, we slept too much. The first thing we did, actually, is when we got on this ship, we had a nap. You know, while everyone's exploring the ship, going around the promenades and going, oh my God, look at the cruise we're on. We went to bed. We went to bed for 3 hours. We needed the sleep. My little boy had earache, bless him, because of the flight. I was just knackered because we had to wake up at like 3 in the morning. Yeah, we went to bed, and do you know what? I'm not even going to apologise. We had such a good sleep. Bathroom, the amenities in the rooms, the showers, even just the space of the cabin, I couldn't complain. A lot of people online do say that MSC do kind of like cram people in to get as many people on these cruises as possible. I didn't feel like that in the cabin. A lot of you have asked in the comments on all the vlogs, did you feel claustrophobic? How were you in the cabin? Like, I didn't feel like it was that small that I felt claustrophobic. I remember when I sailed on P&O Arvia on one of the maiden voyages, and I felt the inside cabin on that was a little bit smaller than the cabin we had. I do think, though, our cabin was upgraded, which is hard to believe when we were in, like, probably the worst location known to man. But, yeah, I think I'd rather have been in the engine room than where we were. Honestly, banging all night, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. The staff would just let them doors swing in and out of the galley, and we could even have people talking through the walls. It was a noisy cabin. But you know what? We paid £2,300, I believe. I think that's what it was for this cruise. That included flights. That included the cabin. That included an all-inclusive drinks package. You can't really go wrong, can you? While we're on the topic of drinks, let's bring food into there. Firstly, we had the all-inclusive premium drinks package. My little boy had the kids' drinks package. That included mocktails for him, It included all soft drinks, coffees, hot chocolates, and things like that. It included the milkshakes in the Zen bar, I think it was. It included everything. There was never a point where we were told no to my little boy. Mine was the premium drinks package. I think I could drink anything and everything on the ship. And I was never told no to anything. I was never charged any additional extras. And I don't think I could ever do a cruise after having that. I don't think I could ever do another cruise without having that premium drinks package. It really changed the game for me. I'm so used to cruising, just having a soft drinks package, or basically taking my own drinks and not even having a drinks package at all. Having that premium drinks package really changed the game for me. A lot of yous online asked, what were the queue times like? Did you have to wait long amounts of time to get a drink? I honestly, and I swear to God, I'm not just saying this, I don't think I ever had to wait for a drink. Like, don't get us wrong, there was other people at the bar and, you know, they'll say, 2 minutes, you're third in the queue or whatever. But there was never a time where there was like a queue system or we had to wait any longer than 5 minutes. And to be honest, I got tipsy so many times on this cruise, which for anyone that's never seen my vlogs before, I don't drink alcohol. But listen, when you've got to wait, I go, another, like we kept getting asked, another, every couple of minutes. There was one bar that we sat at where every couple of minutes he was like, I would finish it and he'd be like, do you want another one? I have never had service like that at sea. When you sail with P&O, it's like, you've got to wait 15 minutes. Honestly, like, just let people have fun on holiday. Like, just, why can't you do that? Just let people be. I know, like, obviously you've got to have a fair use of drink policy and you don't want people to be rolling all over the ship because they're drunk. But listen, if someone's having a good time and they're just having a couple of drinks, don't be enforcing your 15-minute silly rule. Like, just let people, like, for me, I don't think I ever drank more than 6 drinks in a day. And, like, that's, like, across a whole day, because I don't drink. Even 6 drinks, I'm thinking, bloody hell, that sounds like a lot to me. But I don't drink. But MSC never at one point said, oh no, you can't have that, you can't have this. It was great. I would love to know in the comments if any of you guys have had similar things. I don't know if MSC have a 15-minute policy, but I know that I was never told about it. And let's bring food into the equation as well. So we tried the buffet, we tried specialty dining, and then we also tried the MDR. The buffet was, the best way to explain it, horrific. We're not buffet people. I'm much more of someone that likes to just sit down and be served. That sounds really weird, but you know what I mean. It's just like, to me, it's part and parcel of going away. Buffets, the hustle and bustle, people pushing and shoving, isn't really my cup of tea. No shade to anyone that loves a buffet. All of my family, when we travel, they all want to eat in the buffet, and I'm always the one that's like, no, I don't want to eat the buffet. Even my little boy, I think, prefers going to the buffet because he can just eat what he wants, and that's good, that's great, but I'm not really a big fan of the hustle and bustle of the buffet. It was very busy. Specialty dining, we had 4 specialty dining meals. We had the butcher's cut, we had the green kitchen or something that it was called, we had the Mexican that was on board, and then we had, what was the 4th one? The Teppanyaki restaurant. Butcher's Cut and the Teppanyaki restaurant were outstanding. Butcher's Cut was our first meal on board. Please, if you ever sail with MSC, you've got to book Butcher's Cut. It is the best meals on this MSC cruise. This is the thing, I got on with such low expectations because so many people told us before getting on board, the food's crap, you're gonna hate it, Dan, you're someone that likes this and likes that, you're gonna hate MSC. I was literally sitting in the Butcher's Cut on night 1 going, oh my God, this is unbelievable. I'm so used to getting the scraps and the screcks from the bottom of the pan with P&O cruises, and here I am sitting in the Butcher's Cut, and I'm like, oh my God, this is just outstanding. Honestly, I felt like they had it. I even said this in the vlog. I thought they might have had a net at the back of the ship, and then they pulled the prawns out fresh. Like, I think them prawns might have just been killed before being put on my plate, because the food that was served to me in the Butcher's Cut, my God, was incredible. The steak, 10 out of 10. Absolutely loved the food. We did try the MDR restaurant. Again, fantastic food. What I will say about that, it was less. I think we did it the wrong way around. We did specialty, then we did MDR. The MDR was a lot slower in regards to service. The staff was still amazing. They were lovely. I liked the fact that like they brought the bread basket around. There was no... Again, I'm really trying not to have sly digs at another cruise line. But like I've been there where I'm someone that likes like a piece of bread on its own and then maybe a piece of bread with me soup. And I'm like... And then you can always see like the glaring eyes from the P&O staff going, oh, you know... I've actually seen it personally happen with my family when we've been on a cruise and my mum or my nana or whatever has asked for 2 pieces of bread and they're like looking like this. You know, I think we're from the northeast. I think we just like a lot of bread. With MSC, there was none of that. My little boy had a croissant, he had a piece of bread, he had a pan au chocolat, and then even the server said, "Would you like some more?" Like honestly, there was no, what's the word? Hold back in regards to food. Again, the only thing I would say about the MDR was just the speed. It did feel like it took a little bit longer, but the food that we got served from the MDR was actually fantastic. Again, some of the best meals I've had at sea. I know a lot of people say that they're not keen on the food on MSC. I want to know where they've been eating. Maybe I've just got low expectations. I don't know. But I'm just pouring my milkshake. I just thought the food was absolutely 10 out of 10. I couldn't fault it. Next one is, how busy was the ship? A lot of you guys were asking, obviously, MSC like to fill their ships, and I was on a sold out cruise. So the best way to explain my cruise is there wasn't a single space left on the ship. It was literally filled to capacity. 7,200 people, which, oh my god, the money MSC are making makes us want to sip. Oh my god. It was busy, and I don't know if they have a cap on the kids. Some cruise lines will cap the amount of kid places that they sell. I don't think MSC do that. I think they just let anyone book. It was busy. There was a lot of kids. The kids club was rammed every day. That was great for me little boy because he made friends. He made this lovely friend called Cameron, and we ended up becoming really friends with the family and stuff. That was really nice. One of the highlights to the holiday. But yeah, it was busy. There was people everywhere. But did I ever feel like it was too much? Did I ever feel like it was too busy where it was like unbearable? Like, no. The only time I felt like I could see the amount of people on the ship was sailorways, because everyone would be congregating around, you know, the views, and there was kind of nowhere to stand unless you were there ages before. But other than that, actually, even though the cruise was at capacity, sold out, there wasn't a single cabin left available on our cruise. I tried so many times for an upgrade and there was just nothing. There wasn't even another inside cabin available. It was at capacity. And do you know what? It was fine. And I would love to be on one of them cruises when there's barely anyone on it, because my god, you would feel like a prince or a princess, because you would feel like you've got the ship to yourself. Because these ships are so big, even when they're at capacity, they don't feel bad. In my opinion, anyway. Another conversation that we had was the ports. We did a Mediterranean cruise. Every single port we visited, I loved. There was a few ports, Genoa, being the main one, that was a bit scary. We had a bit of a crazy interaction of where we got off the ship, walked through the terminal, and then there was loads of I'll call them sellers, because I don't want to say what they potentially could have been, i.e. scammers. That's honestly, were literally like shoving stuff in people's pockets and then asking for money. We did see someone's phone get stolen in Genoa. We heard once actually getting back off the cruise and going back, someone that was on our flight told us that there was actually 2 people's phones stolen in Genoa, which was just, my god. But all the other ports were absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I wanted to highlight with MSC is I like the amount of time we got in the ports. We had 8, 9 and 10 hour times, which was fantastic. In fact, there was some days where I was like, really, do we really need to be here till 7 o'clock tonight? We had a lot of time in port, and I loved that. We docked early and we went out late. We loved Marseille. Marseille was a real highlight to us, visiting the town, going to the beach. We visited the old port. absolutely stunning. And then going all the way to, the south of Italy and visiting, is it Palmero, which was again absolutely stunning. We visited the cathedral there. Oh my God, honestly, the ports on this cruise were fantastic. Some of the best ports we've ever visited. We didn't do any excursions this cruise. What I will say is the excursions with MSC are quite pricey. So we didn't do a single excursion. We did it all ourselves. We used ChatGPT to plan our days. And let me tell you, do it, guys. Obviously do your holiday the way you want to do it. But I think moving forward, I'll be using ChatGPT for holidays, especially in ports. All I can say is over our whole 7 days on board MSC World Europa, I was blown away. And please let me know in the comments if you've sailed with MSC recently. I think because I went on there with such low expectations after being told various different times that I was going to hate it, after reading countless reviews about the food, after reading loads of reviews about customer service. Customer service is on one of the topics to chat about, and I'm going to bring this in now. The customer service we received was almost perfect. We did have a very awkward conversation with someone in the kids' arcades. I will elaborate on the story about the kids' arcades. I know a lot of you guys have mentioned this in the comments on the video. So I didn't do any research into the kids' arcades. I just assumed that they were going to be very similar to the ones in the UK. It doesn't matter what you have. You could have 1 million tickets and you'll still only get a lolly. So I just had it in my head, at least my little boy will get a lolly. But let me tell you, after spending almost £140 on board MSC World Europa, my little boy didn't even have enough tickets to get a lolly. My little boy had tickets for nothing. And the amount of kids that were getting upset and crying because it was a day where everyone was pretty much getting off. And a lot of parents and kids came up with all these tickets, putting them in the machine, expecting to get at least something, and then being told, actually, no, you haven't got anything. There was a lot of upset people in that room. And the staff's response was so cold. The best way to explain it is it was diabolical, the response. The basic response we got was, it's just the way it is. Go downstairs and get something from the buffet if you want a sweet. That's basically the response that we got. We ended up, in the end, a lot of parents ended up clubbing together and putting receipts together so then a kid could get stuff. And we had a lot of parents give stuff to us and then we gave stuff to other kids because we were just trying to offload the tickets. I kept saying to my little boy, listen, you don't need it. I think it was a good life lesson learned from a little boy in the fact of don't do arcades at sea. Literally, just don't do them. I don't think we'll ever do them again. In fact, my little boy has said he will never do another arcade at sea, and I won't let him do another arcade at sea because you get fleeced. Especially if you want something. Like, obviously, if you just want to go in the arcade and have fun, that's different. But if he's collecting them tickets, no, we'll just bin them. Or we'll give them to another child because, yeah. And that was the thing during the cruise. We were given tickets from other parents and other kids. Like, my little boy would come out of the arcade and go, Daddy, I've got 100 tickets. Little Cameron, who ended up being a really good friend of his, Cameron kept giving him tickets and he'd be like, oh, Daddy, Cameron's giving me tickets. And I'm like, oh, bless him, that's super kind. It still wasn't enough. I've got all of that. Honestly, MSC, sort your act out. In regards to arcades and entertainment, my little boy loved the Dodgem cars on the cruise. My little boy loved the slides. Well, he loved looking at them, let's just say, because he couldn't get on a single one because of the height restrictions. But they were there and he liked watching people use them. He loved the kids club. Oh my goodness, the kids club was incredible. He loved it. They had a Lego room where it was just pure Lego and he loved it. There was a lot that my little boy... We never got bored on this cruise, let's just put it that way. I've been on other cruise lines where you get to day 2 and you're like itching to get off the ship. It wasn't like this on this cruise. There was so much to do. Let's revert to the end of the cruise, which was disembarkation. Again, we sailed to Barcelona. We got on a bus that took us to the airport and then flew back with Jet 2 again. Again, our suitcases were there. Customer service from MSC was fantastic. The whole disembarkation process was perfect, in my opinion. The fact that they're disembarkating thousands of customers. I believe they handled it really, really well, and I couldn't fault them at all, in my opinion. The flight back was nice and easy. I don't have anything negative to say about MSC, so much so that we plan on sailing with them again in July or August. We're going to Florida, and we haven't booked it yet. I know I made a big spiel at the end of the cruise vlog series that we were going to be definitely booking. Epic Universe has opened in Florida. That's costing a fortune, so it's kind of taking up the budget for the cruise. But we do plan on sailing with MSC again. I just want to draw this video to a conclusion and basically express my final thoughts. Again, this isn't a stick to another cruise line. At the end of the day, I believe there's a cruise line out there for everyone, and different cruise lines may fit other people's needs and other cruise lines may not fit people's needs. What I will say though is we paid less for this 7-day cruise than what I did for the cruise that I did with P&O earlier in the year. And the service, the food, the customer service, the experience on board was tenfold better than the experience that I received on P&O. And I personally believe, and I know a lot of you will not care about this, but I personally believe that it'll be a long time until I'm back on another P&O cruise. Now, listen, you can hold me feet to the fire if I change my mind, and I may change my mind because I'm like a yo-yo. In life, I'm like a yo-yo, and I change my mind on things all the time. But I don't think you'll see us on another P&O cruise anytime soon, because when I can get a cruise cheaper with MSC, and I'm going to better ports, better destinations, and the overall experience on the ship is just a lot better, I don't see why I would go back. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a cruise itinerary might come out, or maybe the P&O may up their game, which might make us, or may make me sway my mind again and go back with them. But the prices that MSC have been coming out with for doing like a week around Mexico and a week around the Caribbean, and it's like, for me and my little boy, it's £1,700 for a 2-week cruise. It's like, Jesus Christ, that is so cheap. You know, how can I not do that and sail with another cruise line that's charging more or less the same, but you're getting half the experience? I don't know. That's just my thought process at the moment. But my final thoughts on MSC is just, I absolutely loved our time, and I can't wait to sail with MSC again. I know MSC is a very is that the right word? Polarizing cruise line. Some people absolutely adore MSC and some people absolutely detest it. Again, there's a cruise line for everyone out there. But my experience on MSC World Europa was just fantastic. And again, it might have been because I went on there with low expectations, which sounds awful because I wasn't expecting to have a bad time, but I just got on the cruise just not expecting to have the experience that I got. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments, do you have any cruises planned this year? Are you going anywhere? Are you sailing? Again, listen, every cruise line's got an audience. P&O are a fantastic, budget-friendly cruise line. They offer amazing value for money. The same as MSC. I just found, because of my little boy and the things that he now loves and wants to do on cruising, P&O doesn't really work for him. And P&O have done so many cutbacks for me that I just feel like MSC will be the cruise line that I would, if I'm going on a budget cruise, it's going to be the cruise line I'm going to pick every time. So that's my thoughts. I loved it. And I can't wait to sail again on MSC. Oh, my video's paused in the background. Hang on, let's click play. I didn't even realise it was paused. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And this draws a close to my MSC World Europa Cruise Vlog series. If you've enjoyed this series, the vlogs, the reviews, please let me know by liking the video. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, please consider subscribing. Come and join the fam. I do have a Patreon group. It is quite inactive, I have to be honest with you, at the moment. I've just had so much going on. But is it comes closer to our Florida trip. We've got loads planned in there. So if you would be interested in Patreon, the link is below. I just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon members, wherever you guys are. Thank you for sticking around, because I have been very inactive. Thank you, wherever you are. I really appreciate you a lot. So thank you. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. The next series, we're going to Turkey. So if you follow us on Instagram, recently we went to Turkey for an 8-night holiday with all of Con's family. It was an absolute brilliant holiday. Just wait for the vlogs. No, it was a good holiday. I was going to make like, oh, it was awful. No, it was good. It was a good holiday, and I'm excited to share it with you. We got, oh, dude. Have I just spilt milk on my face? Oh my God. It was a great holiday. We had a great time. So yeah, that will be coming next. That will keep you occupied for the next 2 weeks. And then we have a little sneaky series coming after that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye, guys. See you soon.